Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Codentech. My name is Shibam and today with me I have a very special guest, Michelle Ma. She has been involved in IT sector for over 30 years as a developer, business analyst and database consultant. Her expertise with Microsoft SQL Server is more than 20 years. She got the Data Platform MVP award from Microsoft. I would like to welcome Michelle Ma. Hello ma'am, how are you doing today? And thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for letting me speak to your students. I really appreciate it. I think it's important.
Yes. So, moving to my questions, the first thing I would like to say that when a student joins a university, if he or she sees that there are so many communities already present. So, what is the time you think that a university student should join a technical community?
Oh, that's a very good question, and it's very hard to answer this because this is very individual. What I'm thinking is that those communities are free and you can join at any time. So, in my opinion, when you study, computer science or anything related, you will eventually understand what excites you, what you want to do. But even if you're not, you can, once you feel that you're knowledgeable enough to participate in those technical sessions, just go ahead and do it. So for example, let's say that you are studying data science or .NET or anything else that you're studying, and you're interested to learn a little bit more or to see what other people are doing. You look at communities, you look at the presentations that or the blogs or whatever they're doing, and you just start reading and understanding what is there, what other people do. You can learn a lot from those. So in my opinion, some of those sessions are really high level and some are very technical. It can be very frustrating if you participate in some technical sessions without really understanding at least the basics. So you need to make sure that when you join sessions, so that you will not be confused, at least you research the topic, or you understand something about it, so that you will not just sit there and maybe not understand anything. So my suggestion is that when you feel ready, just join the communities, look at all those free communities, and start going to sessions, and you will really enjoy, and eventually you will understand which area you want to go into when you graduate.
Right, absolutely. So my next question will be like a follow-up to this. So if a student understands the basic and has done some research, so what are the characteristics a student should look at in a technical community before joining it?
Okay, so there, in my opinion, there are like a few main types of communities. So you have um, for example, tool-specific communities such as .NET communities, Power BI. I'm coming from the Microsoft stack, so this is my examples.
Right.
Power BI community, Java development, SQL Server, Oracle, whatever, something very specific, and you can listen to technical or listen or read about technical stuff. The other main, one of the main types is area specific. So it will be something more generic and not vendor specific, something like data platform, big data, data science, agile development, reporting tools and stuff like that. So this is more generic. So basically, at this point, what you will see maybe blogs and presentations around different tools and comparing between tools and talking in high level about those areas. The last main type of community, I would say, it's like cloud or vendor specific. So for example, Azure, AWS, GCP, and then you will have a lot of information within those, vendor or cloud, all the tools. So for example, I'm coming from the Azure area, so you will have a lot of information about the data platform, the dev stack, all the services on Azure. So it's very interesting. And then you will be able to understand that type of cloud and what it can provide. I think that the community needs to have to be built based on the interest, the shared interest of people. So you need to find a community where, you know, something that interests you is being presented there, right?
Right.
And also from a non-technical perspective, you would like to feel good in a community. So, you know, you should be looking for a community that, you know, that speaks to you. That you know, I always because I'm hosting the local community. So we always promote respect, inclusion, diversity, equality. And I think that it's it's very beautiful if community leaders allow everyone to be able to actively participate, share, and learn. And basically, anyone that is interested can learn how to blog and present. Even if you're just a student, you know, just learn a topic and try to present it or blog about it. And you know, everything is welcome in those communities. So it's a very good experience.
Right. This is so wonderful that first you understand the things, what is the community is all about, and then understand what really excites you. Yeah, this is so nice. Moving on, this is a question for the students who are willing to start their own community. If you were asked to build a community, what would the principles be on which community would be built?
Yeah, so that's a good question. So like I said before, you need to make sure, first of all, that the topic excites you, right?
Okay, right.
So you need to have passion about what you're starting the community about. So like I said, if we look at the three main topics, probably, or the three types of communities, you probably have additional, you know, like specific communities. So what passions you, and you probably have like you know, other students that you know, or other people that you know from the industry, and you can build this based on your speaking with those people and understanding their interests and the topic. I always suggest to have non-specific, so less specific community. So for example, if you're very passionate about let's say .NET, I would say make it a development group so that people can also learn, except for .NET, they can learn a lot. Or you could say .NET and something, so that you open a window for other technologies to also be presented in your community. Yes, and like I said before, you need to make sure that everybody is respectful, and it's fun. It's fun to be in your community. So have like fun activities. Sometimes you can, you know, you can add activities that are not related to technical stuff. For example, women in technology, or any type of other type of activities that are promoting inclusion and diversity.
Right. So diversity is very main factor of while building your own community. So, ma'am, I've seen that many students are not able to manage between studies and community. So, how should a student spend his or her time, or let's say manage the time between community and studies?
Mm-hmm. So this is also a very, very interesting question. So time management can be very problematic, but it's also something that you can learn. And as you grow up, you learn to do this better. You need to basically decide what are your priorities, right? So these days, I noticed that we spend a lot of time on the phone and on social media, and we may think we don't have time, but we can make time by disconnecting from, from the media.
Right.
Sometimes it's like a few minutes here, a few minutes there. Sometimes you will see single parents taking care of their kids, working full time and studying. You would ask yourself, how do they do that? So the bottom line is that it's all about time management and priorities. So first step should be to set up like reachable small goals and a detailed plan on how to reach each goal. And the next steps are going to just stick to your plan one step at a time so that you are not overwhelmed. And my big tip is don't procrastinate. So if you have to do something, don't procrastinate, just plan it and do it. I can give you an example from my personal life. Okay, I'm a
Yes, ma'am.
mother.
Sure, ma'am.
I'm working full time. I co-organize local technical events. I'm a Microsoft MVP, which requires a lot of technical community work. I do a lot of blogging and presentation, and I'm writing books and ebooks. I have to participate in MVP events. And when I'm saying that I'm working full time, it means that my days are between 8 and sometimes 12, 14 hours per day, because if I'm on a on a very stress project, I have to work extra hours. So as an MVP, I have to have at least like 1 or 2 activities per month, at least, in order to keep my title. So imagine I have sometimes 14 days, 14 hours days, and I still have to do this activity. So I ensure that I schedule those monthly activities and I fulfill them. So for example, when you present 1 hour, sometimes it takes 8 hours to create that presentation. So you have to account for this too. So you have to plan for this. And me, if I have to work a few extra hours every night for a few days, I will do it because I have a goal. I set up, I have a plan and I have a goal. So that's very important, to make sure that you have those little goals and you just stick to them.
Right, wonderful. This is so nice that you should first make your things what is priority, what is your priorities, right, ma'am? So, students communities help to build the network. Ma'am, how student should utilize this privilege in order to maximize his or her candidacy for a certain job?
Okay, very good question. So I'm not sure about student communities. I did not have that when I was at the university, but I know that there are many user groups and other communities around the world, which you can join at any cost, like there's no cost. It's even easier now because most events are either online or
Right.
hybrid, meaning on-site and online, to allow people that cannot join. And you can get the recording of the sessions after the fact as well, most of the time. When you join such a community, you get a chance to ask questions and interact with other people in the industry. Some companies may use those events through or either the companies or through individuals to recruit students, right? If you feel comfortable in doing so, I would recommend that you start thinking about presenting at events to get more visible. Because when people know you, they will, for example, recruiters, they will look at your LinkedIn, and if LinkedIn and any other media, and when they see that you are already presenting and blogging, they will look at you, more than other candidates.
Right.
Like I said before, you just choose a topic you're confident with, or you study one, and you join those communities. So you look at other presenters and what they're doing, and you can even learn how to present or blog. If you're shy presenting, you can just start blogging. You can start your own blog, and like yourself, right? You're a student and you started a community, so you're very visible. So when I'm looking at you, and on your LinkedIn or on your resume, you have, oh, I have a community, a local community for students. This is very appealing for recruiters, to look at you differently than anybody else. The idea when I do a lot of interviews and I look for candidates a lot of times, and I'm looking for, special things such as this, having a community or presenting, speaking, blogging and stuff like that.
Awesome. So making yourself presentable is also a big factor if you are learning something, right? Wow.
Very. Mm-hmm.
So, like today, there are so many technologies present, and when a student joins any university, he is surrounded with all of these. A student wants to learn certain technology, but he or she is so not sure about it. So, which technology, according to you, should be learned in today's world scenario to be job ready?
Oh, that's a very interesting question too. All your questions are very interesting. So I think that the most important thing is to find something that you really like and you're excited about, okay? I'm seeing people my age with, I have 35 years of experience, that after, let's say, 10 years or 20 years, they realize that they just chose something that was given to them and not something that was exciting to them, and then they want to change. So, but remember that even if you're choosing something now, it doesn't mean that later you cannot change. You can always change. I started as a developer, and I became a database person, and then I became a data platform person. So my career has evolved, and now I feel like as a database person, I still know how development works, right? Because I started with that. So in terms of technology, the hottest and most evolving technologies are the modern and newer ones, right? So for example, the three main cloud providers are creating services and tools in the cloud very frequently because they compete with each other, right? So if you look at the innovation and all the news from Microsoft and Amazon and Google, you will see everything. And even other, like other providers, they're trying to stay on top and modernize their tools. The problem that I see is that many companies are struggling finding people to work and support the older technologies, okay?
Right.
So depending on the older technologies, most organizations will try to modernize their system either in the near future or long term, okay? So maybe it will not be a bad idea to understand the older technologies as well, and think about how you can help the organization migrate to newer ones, because everybody wants to study, like the new modern ones.
Right.
And companies, the problem is that people with that were supporting the older technologies, they start retiring or moving on, and then the organizations they just need someone to support their older technology. So if you're passionate about an older technology, it's okay, as long as you're thinking about how can I help my organization or an organization move and modernize that technology. It's also good to always know where the market is going and stay on top in terms of your knowledge. So even if you're, let's say that, as a student you graduate, and let's say the first job that you found is with something on-prem, make sure that you're always on top and you always know where the market is going. For example, I know that the market right now is going to the cloud. I would suggest that you look also at the job market and you see what are the most demanded positions in your area, okay? This will give you an indication about your potential future employment options. And of course, the market changes very fast, so you should always stay up to date, right?
So finding your priority, then be the best what you are doing, and having the knowledge where the market is going is basically everything which can change your life. This is such a nice insight you have shared with us. So with this, we come to our last question. Is like, any advice you would love to get to our students who are currently in university?
Oh yeah, I have a lot of advices. I think you guys are starting at a very exciting time when everything is evolving so fast. When I was a student, we did not have so many options like you have right now. We would learn specific tools and stick almost with the same version of those tools for a long time. In today's world, you need to be able to stay on top of the technological innovations, right? And you should have a basic understanding of many of the components that form a system. So for example, let's say if you're a C# developer, you need to know the different frameworks, what are containers, microservices, etc., etc. So you cannot have like just a small niche. You need to understand how things are working and what you can do with your specific technology. If you're in data, you need to understand the difference between on-prem, PaaS solution, IaaS solution, platforms in the cloud, and stuff like that. When you are a student and you are young, remember, you're capable to study very fast, and this is your time now, okay? Because as you grow older, it's harder and harder to learn new things. And also your excitement gets a little bit lower than what you have now. So take your time now, take advantage of the fact that you're young and you're studying, and you know, just open your mind to different technologies. Another advice is that the more you know high level how the entire system works and all the possible components, the more chance that you will have to do your job much better than if you only know one specific niche. Okay, for example, if you're a database developer and you know how the database engine interacts with the infrastructure, with the operating system, etc., also knowing how the applications work best with the database and how the database engine fulfills queries that you send, the more chance you will know how to create well-performing systems if you actually understand everything. So I'm not saying that you need to be an expert in everything, but you need to know high level how things are working. And even me, after 35 years in the industry, I go to presentations and I look at you know, YouTube videos and everything just to understand specifically how things work, because that's how I do my job better. And my bottom line, always be the best version of yourself.
That's so says the last line is really we should always have in our mind, right? And ma'am, thank you so much for sharing your insights and your experience. And I do believe that all our viewers after this interview, they will learn things, they will gain the knowledge, how they should take their steps closer towards their career goals. Thank you so much for taking out time and sharing your insights. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to speak.
Okay, so viewers, I will be back again on Codentech with new videos. Thank you.
Thank you.